Hey, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Shem Shai, I want to see apostles and elders of GreatMillStone. Um, just doing a quick little video, man. Just gonna be like breaking down hell quickly, and how basically the Christian doctrine of hell, that's false. That's not what's in the Bible, and this is just basically gonna prove that. Essentially, using the Bible scriptures, man. I'll start with this Psalms 139. I'll start from verse 1 and skip down because it helps the point. It says, verse 1, it says, "O Yahweh, thou hast searched me and known me." So, he's addressing Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High. You get that from the first verse. So then you skip to verse 8. It says, "If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there." So if you read that, you be thinking, hold on, what's going on? The most Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High is in hell. Does that make sense? Because you go by the Christian doctrine, they're saying it's Satan with a pitchfork down there, and burning flames. But hold on, what this just said that you'll find. David said if he makes his bed in hell, then the Most High is there. But then that shows Christians don't understand the Bible, they don't understand words, because you go into the word for hell in the scripture in the Hebrew, because this is why you need to be able to go into the words in the Hebrew. And it says what is it? Sha'awal? Yeah, Sha'awal, and it says Sheol, underworld, grave, hell, pit. So it's talking about the grave. You even go down to the translation count. It says the same word for hell is used for grave and pit multiple times. So it's talking about the actual grave, man. It's not talking about it's talking about going into the earth. And if you read the scripture, understanding that this is talking about going into the earth, then the scripture makes sense. Because you go back to it, it says verse 8, "If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there." So it's like if you ascend up to heaven and then down into the earth, into the grave. That's what it's talking about. Make my bed in the earth, in hell. That's not talking about like some underground, cut off region where Satan's chilling with a pitchfork. That's just not what it's talking about in the slightest. So where does that hell doctrine come from, man? It's paganism. Let me get this. It says Matthew 11:23. It says, "And thou Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shall be brought down to hell." So is Capernaum the actual town? Has it been translated into the underground, the depths of hell, and it's now burning? With Satan with a pitchfork jabbing them up. Of course not, because that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about that one's talking about in the state, being in if you're in a heavenly state, you're in high regard, you're having a good time. And then when you're in it, it's like you get people saying like, "Oh, it's heaven on earth or hell on earth." That's a state, man. Being in a state of hell, man, in a low state, which has happened when Jerusalem got smashed, and all the Jake had to get the fuck out of there and escape into the interiors of Africa and Europe and all that different parts. That got turned into hell, man. When you go into the word in the Greek, it's got Hades. That's like one of the three words they use. Hades. They used, I think, Tartarus as well as one of the words, and Gehenna. And like Hades and Tartarus, they're basically from the Greek mythology, man. That's where you get how this was wrapped up into Christianity, because they blended in after the Council of Nicaea. They blended in a lot of pagan beliefs, and that's why it's like you use the word Hades. So they blended in that Hades, that underworld from Greek mythology, and Tartarus, which I believe was a prison as well, where people were kept in the underworld. And then Gehenna was the Valley of Hinnom, which let me see, I think it's what is it? I think it's in this one. Let's have a look, see. No, this one's Hades as well. But it's that's the other word they use, Gehenna. which is basically the Valley of Hinnom, which is where stuff was thrown away and then burnt up, and that was used as an example as well of being in a state of hell, man. Being put, it's because of a place that's going to be destroyed, man. Just like America's going to be like it's set alight and blown and nuked. That's it's basically that's an example of a place being put into a lowly state or into the earth, into the ground, man. Because you know, hell, the grave, is it represents death and going into the earth, man. That's what the word hell actually means. And in the New Testament, it's also used for the Valley of Hinnom. Let me get that one, because let me see if I can get, because that's in Luke's a good example as well. But let's have a look, see, because I'm not sure what verse it appears in. Well, this one's a Tartarus in 2 Peter's. That's where you use Tartarus, which is also part of you know, it says an explanation, the name of the subterranean region, doleful and dark, regardedly by the ancient Greeks as abode of the wicked dead. So that's pagan belief. Them Greek gods all up in Tartarus. And let's see if I can find Gehenna. This might be the one still. Yeah, Gehenna. Yeah, and it says hell is a place of future punishment called Gehenna, or fire of Gehenna, and they're going off because Gehenna is actually talking about. It even says this was originally the Valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit the symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. Which is true, they will be destroyed. Like America's gonna get burned and various other places on the earth. But the Valley of Hinnom was just it's not talking about actual death, like some actual hell with Satan there and a pitchfork, like the Christians believe. That's just them taking paganism, blending it in with the scriptures and running with it, which was done from, like, you know, Council of Nicaea just before. So, you know, that's just I'm just keeping it quick, man, because it's basically you go into the words that breaks down a lot, man. That's why you got to be able to go into the Greek, go into the Hebrew, because these Christians, they're unable to do that. That's why they'll run to like John 3:16 and other scriptures and not know what's going on. But you know, I'll leave it there, man. I'll say all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Damo, is the apostles of GreatMillStone, man, and shalom.